Hey friends, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it if you're new to the channel and also my current subscribers. On today's video, I am going to be possibly flushing the engine oil on the dozer. So we got it nice and warm from driving up the driveway. So I'm going to retorque this head. Off video, I actually unplugged this lift pump and it still had fuel pressure. I revved up the RPMs and it is in the green when it's about half or higher on the RPM range. Idle, it's on the low side, so I don't know if that's normal. I was looking up in the parts manual because it shows all this stuff. This is supposed to be connected to this over here. So I'm gonna connect those together. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. And I want to flush the radiator again, and I would like to do some electrolysis on this diesel tank, but the problem is I filled this diesel tank full of diesel when I bought the dozer, and I was just gonna run a bunch of filters and just run it, but that's probably not the best idea. And then if you look under here, someone disconnected it, and I'm guessing they just bypassed it and they're running it from a can or something. So I'm gonna have to figure out where to put all this diesel because I don't have any space to put. This is like at least a 16-20 gallon tank of diesel, and I gotta find some space for that diesel before I can start the electrolysis because we have to get water in there. And then the next step is to tear off this guard and see what's leaking in there. Hopefully it's just like a coupler or something easy to fix and it's not the main hydraulic pump because it is losing a lot of fluid. It's almost gravity flowing out of there, so that's going to be the big job. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna check the oil real quick. The oil actually doesn't look too bad. And now it's quite a bit over full. That's weird. It's got a little bit of water in it, but I might be able to just run that out of it. The problem is this dozer, I don't see a blow-by tube. Like a regular diesel has a blow-by tube to where all that moisture can come out of. Like on my Perkins, on the Massey Ferguson backhoe, it has a blow-by tube and all the moisture comes out of it. When I took this off the other day, the valve cover, it had all this moisture stuck up there, like it's not escaping. So maybe it's supposed to leave from here. I don't know. It's weird. It should just be able to leave the engine. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so that's not rocket science. I'm just taking the valve cover back off, and the pattern for getting this head on this D25J series, 2nd gen, the first torque sequence is 60 foot-pounds, and then you hit it at 80 foot-pounds. Then you let it warm up, hit it at 58 foot-pounds. I've heard of some guys going over it over and over and over and over several times just to make sure they have it. With this Permatech 300 that I put on here, I'm pretty confident that this thing's sealing right up. So yeah, I guess we'll see in the long run though, after we start working it. So I already got this on video working on the engine before in the earlier series, so if you guys want to look at that, feel free to check it out. I'm gonna skip that part on this video because it's just I'm gonna have to take the cam off again and retorque it, so it's pretty repetitive. I already did it on the previous series. That's that moisture I was talking about that's getting stuck at the valve cover. I might just leave some of these holes open next time I run it so the moisture can escape. Okay, next I'm gonna hook up this, looks like some kind of a return line. The compression fitting on this one is goofed up, so I snugged it up and it's still loose, so we gotta get in there and figure out what's going on. I noticed the return line on the injection system is spitting quite a bit of diesel out. I don't know if that's normal or not for this old of a machine. Oh, that's not ideal. So this thing has a bunch of crud on it. I'm going to clean that out in there. I don't want that to recirculate in the fuel system. Okay, so I use this little tool to clean this thing out. Quick. Cover this so the camera doesn't get messed up. Okay, let's see if we can get this on there with a nice snug fit. Gotta push this all the way in there. I notice it's a lot safer if you have to bend these lines here, these little ones, this copper. It's a lot safer to just tighten this up. Still a little loose, I don't know why. I think I'm just gonna run it. I think this is a low pressure line anyways. Well, it's snug. Not 100% snug, but should be a start. I'm not sure why this was disconnected. Maybe they were just trying to get some air out of the system or something. I don't know. I soaked everything in blaster before I did this. Bunch of wrench in here. I'm actually going to leave that one on the other side just so it kind of supports this, so it's a little easier to take off, I hope. There we go. Yeah, I lost that one. Oh well, I can get it off later. Another washer. Ooh, this thing has been leaking for a while. So nothing crazy, just a little bit of a biodegradable degreaser here. Okay friends, I'm just going to wash the front radiator and the engine a little bit because I don't want to get all this mud into my parking spot. I'm going to have to wash it down the hill or something to get the undercarriage cleaned. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes or so. Let's do the last final wash. Okay, got it pretty clean. Got to take this radiator out to get the rest of the junk in there. I don't think this thing's ever been washed. So I'm pretty sure it's leaking right there. Let me get this PV blaster. Starting to soak here. Let's see if we can crack those big lines off, because the way they have it set up, you got to take this thing off so you can unscrew that, and then this one should unscrew right out of there, just how it sits. Surprisingly, I actually have the tools for this. I'm guessing someone was in here before because that nut came right off. Either that or the oil saturated it so bad. Hoping I can get the parts for this thing, man. Yeah, there's definitely been rubbing right here. Just gonna fire it up real quick just so I can double check that the oil is coming from that pump before I tear it off. Okay, friends, as you can see, that main seal is toast. At least it's still building pressure. Hopefully I can get the seals for this and this pump's not obsolete. Let's get into it. Ooh, that is tight. Okay, I think if I take that swivel off the top, I can unhook the pump and then rotate it to unscrew this. Otherwise, I gotta break down this whole thing here. And I think this is easier. So let's try to do that. Wow, I don't know. This is moving just a tiny bit. I don't want to break this, so we're going to try to break it loose down here. So none of these are swiveling. Once the whole thread wants to come out. And I just put a bunch of force on this and it's not going anywhere. That's it, right there. Okay, now I gotta go figure out how to drain the oil. Looks like it's gonna come down this way. I made this thing just in case we need it. Oh yeah, it's gonna go over here. Make a napkin down here. Get this super powerful magnet over here. Oh, okay, it's gonna take a while. We'll see you in a couple, YouTube. Okay, this is what we got here. Got this modified heat shield magnet down over here. Not ideal, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, now I can completely unscrew this big line slowly because I can spin it. Secondary oil pan down here. Yep. Okay, so these are the swivels that work way up here. Okay, friends, I got that out. A bunch of crud got in there and ate up the seal. Pretty nasty. Ugh. Yeah. So the camera overheated. It's only like 70 today and the camera overheated. Jeez. We got it out. I'm noticing there's a little bit of play. It's gonna need some bearings and a seal for sure.